Hey everyone, I'm Amelia, and today we're talking about a website that completely changed the internet forever. What started as a failed video dating site in 2005 somehow became one of the most powerful media platforms in human history. From viral cat videos, to billion-dollar creators, to scandals, algorithms, and the rise of the creator economy, this is the unbelievable story of YouTube. The rise of YouTube. We live in a world where 20 billion videos sit on a single server, waiting to be streamed. It is an ocean of content so vast that no human could watch a fraction of it in a lifetime. But this library didn't begin with a plan for global dominance. It started as a place to find a date. In early 2005, 3 co-founders, all former PayPal employees, registered a new domain. Their initial pitch was straightforward. Users would upload short clips talking about their ideal partner. They called the site YouTube. The dating concept went nowhere. After failing to attract users, they stripped away the requirements and allowed anyone to upload whatever they wanted. On April 23, 2005, co-founder Jawad Karim tested the new direction by uploading a 19-second clip of himself at the zoo. By abandoning their original business plan to accommodate how people were actually using the site, they filled a gap in the market for easy video sharing. The site's growth began to accelerate as specific clips like Evolution of Dance and Charlie Bit My Finger reached massive audiences. MySpace, which was the dominant social network at the time, functioned as a primary driver for this growth. Users began embedding YouTube links directly into their profiles, spreading the content across the wider internet. This chart illustrates the mechanics of the site's growth loop. A user uploads a video, it gets shared on external platforms like MySpace, and those shares drive a mass audience back to the site. This loop concludes when those new viewers become creators themselves. As more people uploaded content to reach these expanding audiences, the site's reach began to scale exponentially. This cycle changed the nature of the platform. It was no longer a simple repository for files. It had become a system where the volume of shares determined what the internet was watching. But rapid scaling introduced a technical crisis. Hosting and streaming video content requires immense amounts of bandwidth and physical storage. This chart highlights the financial problem YouTube faced in 2005. While user growth was climbing, the company had no monetization model. Because there was no revenue, every new viewer increased the amount the company had to pay for server maintenance. These escalating operating costs meant that each growth spurt was a sign of financial danger. The company was paying for its own popularity, and the more successful the site became, the faster it drained its remaining capital. A turning point arrived at the end of 2005 when Sequoia Capital invested $3.5 million into the company. This investment allowed the team to hire additional staff and, most importantly, expand the physical infrastructure needed to keep the site online during its most expensive growth period. Without this outside capital to cover their rising bills, the platform's own expansion would have likely led to its bankruptcy before it could establish a permanent place on the web. As the site's influence grew, major tech platforms began to view it as a direct threat to their own market share. MySpace began to restrict the visibility of YouTube links, while Google, Yahoo, and Facebook all attempted to develop their own competing video players to capture the audience. During this period of competition, the platform introduced the subscribe button. This feature changed how people interacted with the site. Viewers stopped looking at videos as isolated events and began following specific channels and individuals. This shift allowed ordinary people to build their own audiences without the need for traditional television studios or large production budgets. It created the first generation of independent creators, such as Smosh and iJustine. These established relationships between creators and viewers gave the platform an advantage. While competitors could build similar video technology, they could not easily move the entire community that had already formed around these specific channels. As the user base expanded, so did the volume of copyrighted content. Users were uploading music videos, popular TV shows, and feature movies owned by major media companies. This led to comparisons with Napster, as copyrighted materials spread across the site with high speed. Many outside industry observers believe the platform would eventually be sued completely out of existence by massive media conglomerates. Even with venture capital, the company lacked the resources to survive a sustained legal battle against the entire entertainment industry. In November 2006, Google officially acquired the video platform for $1.65 billion. At the time, it was a controversial deal because the site had not yet proven it could be profitable. Google understood that competing with the existing community was nearly impossible. By acquiring the company, they didn't just get the technology, they absorbed the legal liability and the massive audience that came with it. After the acquisition, Google utilized its engineering resources to address the copyright problem directly through the creation of Content ID. The system works by comparing user uploads against a database of original files provided by copyright owners. When a match is found, the owner can choose to block the video, monitor its analytics, or allow it to remain online while they collect the advertising revenue. This technology resolved the immediate legal crisis. It allowed the platform to move past the threat of lawsuits and focus on its next major challenge, converting its billions of views into a sustainable business model. By allowing the audience to dictate the value of the content, the site became a real-time experiment in human attention, where niche hobbies and mainstream interests could finally compete for the same screen. Once the platform enabled monetization, production exploded. A tidal wave of new formats washed over the site: daily vlogs, makeup tutorials, sketch comedy, and reaction videos. Audiences quickly gravitated toward raw, unfiltered personalities. Early icons like PewDiePie built massive followings, not through studio equipment, but by speaking directly to their viewers like friends. Topics that struggled to find airtime on network television suddenly had dedicated homes. Highly specific genres, like long-form tech reviews and consumer electronics, found millions of engaged subscribers. The same was true for gaming. What began as simple video game commentary quickly escalated into high-energy entertainment, massive collaborative groups, and real-world crossover events. For the first time, an individual recording in a bedroom could pull larger daily audiences than primetime television networks. It ultimately proved that amateur passions could command global attention if given a direct, unfiltered line to the viewer. But attaching a direct dollar value to a view count created a feedback loop. Creators quickly learned that shocking thumbnails and misleading titles generated the most clicks, filling the platform with low-effort, sensationalized videos. To fight back against clickbait, engineers rewrote the algorithm. Instead of rewarding clicks, the system prioritized watch time, measuring how long someone stayed. The impact was immediate. By keeping users engaged, the algorithm began heavily promoting deep-dive documentaries, video essays, and 2-hour podcasts. Creators adapted their production styles to survive this shift. The mathematical goal of retaining a viewer ended up dictating the shape of modern internet culture. That system hit a breaking point in 2016. Major brands realized their advertisements were appearing next to extremist and violent content, leading to a sudden, massive withdrawal of corporate funding. To stop the financial bleeding, YouTube instituted strict advertiser-friendly standards. Thousands of channels had their revenue streams cut off overnight, a mass demonetization that left many creators without a single income. The friction intensified as top creators, chasing an ever-demanding algorithm, triggered severe public scandals that damaged the platform's relationship with the public. These incidents carried real-world consequences, peaking when a major creator broadcasted a body in Japan's Aokigahara forest to an audience of millions. The community's frustration peaked with the 2018 YouTube Rewind. The video was heavily sanitized for advertisers, ignoring the actual spirit of the platform. It quickly became the most disliked video in history. It was a clear signal of the new reality. Faced with a choice between protecting the raw spirit of its creators or securing billions in ad revenue, the platform prioritized the advertisers. By 2020, a new threat emerged from outside the ecosystem. TikTok trained a generation of users to consume endless streams of addictive, short-form, vertical video. YouTube aggressively counterattacked by rolling out its own vertical format, Shorts. By pushing these clips heavily within the existing app, they successfully recaptured the audience, eventually driving 200 billion daily views. This rapid pivot proved that no matter how dominant the platform appears, it remains vulnerable. Its survival depends on a willingness to cannibalize its own established formats to keep users from leaving for a competitor. Today, that survival instinct has turned the site into a pillar of modern media. It hosts over 20 billion videos, and the primary device for watching them is no longer the phone, but the television set in the living room. The financial scale of this ecosystem is difficult to overstate. Over the last 4 years, the platform has paid out over $100 billion to artists and media companies, fueled by annual ad revenues that now exceed $36 billion. These figures represent a total professionalization of the creative economy. What began as an organic trend of uploading videos has matured into a global economic sector that provides the primary revenue for millions of people and established media companies alike. But sustaining this industry requires managing 3 conflicting groups: the creators making the videos, the viewers watching them, and the advertisers. Every major shift, from the algorithm to shorts, has been a move to keep this structure from collapsing. For nearly 20 years, the platform has managed to absorb internal friction and fend off external rivals by adapting at a relentless pace. The question now isn't whether it will change again, but what will finally force its hand.